Coming up on Wake Up NonStop Local, the South Hill Rapist move once again, where Kevin Coe's been moved to, and what the mayor of that city has to say.
Also this morning, crash at the White House, the car that smashed right into a Secret Service checkpoint, and what the investigation is revealing.
And the Louvre reopens again, just days after that daring heist. How many jewels were stolen and how much they're worth? Plus, what French officials are now saying about that heist.
Plus, a first look at your weather forecast from this angle. It is a gorgeous start here, sun rising in the distance, but others are seeing a little bit of fog. I'm detailing out where ahead.
Also this morning, a South Hill woman who spotted this cougar in her backyard now sharing her story. More on this encounter and warnings from wildlife officials straight ahead on the Wake Up Show.
Wake up, you gotta rise to the sun, and here it comes, it's time to make the best of what you got to give. It's all about rising, and I wanna be there.
Good morning. Here's a live look over downtown Spokane with the sun about to rise there in the horizon. Kind of a clear shot from here, but that is not the case throughout downtown Spokane or our region. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kalai Chalk.
And I'm Sam Adams. We're in the Weather Center with Jenny Power. Jenny, you are forecasting a fantastic day today. Off to a little bit of a foggy start, though.
Yes, that's true. So yeah, through one angle of downtown Spokane, it's looking clear, but here's another one where we are seeing some of that fog. Of course, it's the Monroe Street Bridge with the river underneath it, so that does play a factor into a little bit of reduced visibility, so it's something to keep in mind. Sun trying to rise there in the distance. It's officially at 7:19 this morning, but start time temperatures as you are headed out the door, we're in the upper 30s for Coeur d'Alene, in the low 40s for Spokane. And not only are pockets of downtown Spokane dealing with reduced visibility, but also some of our sheltered valleys through northeast Washington and through the North Idaho Panhandle, back toward the Okanagan Valley and into parts of the Cascades. So bear that in mind. Drive for conditions. As we hone in on some of our metro areas, it is freezing literally for the Meade neighborhood, 38 degrees up on the South Hill and out toward Cheney, 37 for Post Falls. But what I'm tracking here is going to be some sunshine and above average temperatures. We're looking at about 63 for Spokane, but some areas could even reach the 70s. A look at where exactly in 10 minutes. Sam Kalai.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you. Well, infamous South Hill rapist Kevin Coe is no longer in Auburn, Washington, and is now in Federal Way.
And now the mayor of Auburn is thanking a local tribe for helping get Coe out of her city.
Am I happy that he's not in Auburn? I would be lying if I said I wasn't. I am very, very appreciative of the partnership with the Muckleshoot Indian tribe, because they are in fact the ones who were able very quickly to make sure that Mr. Coe was not residing on reservation property, which is inside the city limits of Auburn. And so they actually had more power, more authority to do something about this than the city of Auburn did with Washington state laws.
Now, Coe is now 78 years old. He is required to register as a sex offender.
Now, reports say he is wheelchair bound, but Auburn police say when they went to his door, he wasn't using a wheelchair or a nearby walker.
Now, in a statement, the mayor of Federal Way does say the city is disappointed, but doesn't have a choice in the matter. They'll continue to work with the King County Sheriff's Office to send notifications to neighbors within a quarter-mile radius. In that statement, they also said Coe does not pose a significant safety risk. New this morning, a person has been arrested after ramming a vehicle into a Secret Service checkpoint just several hundred feet away from the White House.
It happened late Tuesday night on the western side of the White House complex. Secret Service says agents immediately arrested the person who crashed. As of right now, the suspect has not been identified.
The Secret Service spokesperson also says there's nothing to suggest a motive or if the crash was intentional. The Louvre Museum in Paris is now reopened today, 3 days following that brazen heist of France's crown jewels in broad daylight.
Stolen jewelry has an estimated worth of 88 million euros. That's 102 million US dollars. Today, the museum director will face a grilling from the French Senate's Culture Committee as the incident fuels national outcry over security at key cultural sites.
Meantime, footage being released by French broadcasters showing one of those four thieves on your screen right now. The heist happening about 30 minutes after the museum had opened for the day. Visitors already inside. As of this morning, police are still searching for those suspects, but curators say they fear those jewels may be gone forever. To your local news headlines right now. Spokane Valley set to significantly expand its public safety workforce after the city council finalized a rollout plan for Proposition 1.
Mayor Pam Haley says that the tax will go into effect in January, and then the city will hire and train 11 new officers. This marks one of the city's largest public safety expansions in years.
City staff say these positions were chosen after a staffing analysis known as the Matrix Study, accompanied by direct input from the police chief.
What we're looking at are 12 new positions and public safety related positions in 2025. It came from the Matrix study, and then 11 in 2026. So that would give you 23 total positions that were part of the Matrix study analysis out of the 31 that it recommended.
Now, funding for Prop 1 comes from increasing the sales tax in Spokane Valley by 0.1%, which would generate now an additional $2.6 million in revenue for the city. Spokane Valley voters approved that initiative in August.
Washington voters will decide whether to amend the state's constitution to allow the investment of tax dollars into a long-term fund known as the Washington Cares Fund to help seniors and people with disabilities.
Now, as of right now, the state of Washington is already investing that money, but there are limits to those investments. The proposed amendment would now open up new opportunities for investing.
It would mean over time that if there's inflation and the legislature says, ooh, we need to adjust the size of this benefit so people in 15 years getting the benefit are able to purchase what they can today with that same amount, it would make it so they could adjust it in the future without then impacting the overall solvency of the funds.
Now, the Washington state constitution generally does not allow the investment of public money into stocks of private companies. Now, money in state funds like Washington Cares can only be put into bonds and certificates of deposit.
If this amendment passes, it would allow the State Investment Board to diversify its portfolio. Well, Spokane Transit is holding a meeting tonight about transforming a lane in each direction on Division Street into bus lanes and adding stops along the way between downtown and North Spokane.
All right, for more on that, NonStop Locals' Noah Bolter joins us live this morning where one of those new bus stops will be located.
Well, Sam Kalai, one of the key points the city says a lot of people in Spokane care about when it comes to this project, it's right over here. It's those sidewalks of Division and Ruby and making them safer for pedestrians. That could mean adding barriers between the road and the sidewalk, more lights for improved visibility, or it could mean adding plants, wildlife, and artwork to make walking spaces more peaceful. The city says the biking community also has some concerns because they want to be able to bike on, alongside, or parallel to Division Street. Tonight's meeting from 6 to 8 at the Wonder Building across from the arena could go over ways to do so. And if you're wondering which lanes of Division might be turned into bus lanes, according to the STA, Phase 1 of this project will only see one lane on Ruby and one lane on Division from North Upriver Drive to North Foothills Drive being affected. That lane would become a bus lane and a turn lane only. Phase 2 of this project could see more repurposed lanes, but it's dependent on the completion of the north-south corridor due to its impacts on traffic.
I've lived in Spokane most of my life, and Division has just kind of been neglected for a long time. And there are thousands of people who live on Division or just a couple blocks from Division. And this is a great opportunity to get that street the kind of attention it deserves.
Well, the SDA anticipates they could start construction on Phase 1 by 2028, whereas construction for Phase 2 likely wouldn't start till after 2030. Live in Spokane, Noah Bolter, NonStop Local.
All right, let's get to your sports news right now. Just prior to the start of the college basketball season, the NCAA has now denied one of Gonzaga's top transfers the chance to play.
While Tyon Grant Foster waits to get on the court, his attorneys will fight for him in court tomorrow. Here's SWX's Austin Getz.
I mean, he literally died. His heart stopped not once but twice, when he was on the floor.
Tyon Grant Foster's college basketball career has been anything but a linear path. After starting his playing days in junior college ball back in 2018, Grant Foster would collapse on court in the season opener of his sophomore season at DePaul, missing the rest of that year and all of the next with a heart condition that nearly claimed his life.
He's an incredible guy. He's got an incredible story. I've been now coaching college for 37 years, and I've seen a lot of these situations, and a lot of these waivers have went through. But listen, I've never seen one as unique as this.
After multiple surgeries, Grant Foster returned to the court in 2023, playing the next 2 seasons at Grand Canyon before hitting the portal and making his way to Gonzaga. After months of waiting, after being granted a waiver to practice a few weeks ago, Grant Foster finally was at GU after a months-long process. He appeared at Craziness in the Kennel, but now the NCAA is saying he can't play or practice. All along, the Zags knew he would need a waiver, as he had technically played 4 college seasons. But Grant Foster's legal team alleges the NCAA is being discriminatory in their decision to deny that waiver.
He's got a disability. He's got a condition called arrhythmogenic cardiomyopathy. And he has had 2 heart surgeries. And under Washington law, that constitutes a disability. And we think that it is disability discrimination when they count his years against him when he couldn't play.
And again, I've been a huge advocate for the NCAA, and will continue to be. They got a tough gig, but they're just wrong on this one.
So Austin Getz reporting. Now a preliminary injunction hearing will be taking place. That's in Spokane County Superior Court tomorrow. Now, if the judge rules in Grant Foster's favor, he will be immediately eligible to play for GU.
Yeah, but if not, his college basketball career will likely be over. Well, an update now to a story we brought you as breaking news, a cougar sighting on the South Hill. Now we're hearing from the homeowner who captured the video of it walking through her yard.
All right, in case you missed that video, here it is again. Mary Jo Stonner telling us that she spotted this cougar early yesterday morning while she was getting ready to take her dog out for an early morning walk. Now, cougar sightings are normal in Spokane. They usually happen when it's dark outside, like right there.
This is the second time in a month that cougars have been seen roaming yards in the South Hill.
And I thought, for whatever reason, that cougar's going to show up in my yard. And I don't know if it's the same cougar, but the cougar was in the yard. So it didn't shock me. I guess because I half expected it.
Mary says she's seen cougars before. She's not too worried. She says she's going to check her cameras, though, before she goes and takes out her pets. Washington Fish and Wildlife is aware of the sighting and says encounters can be common on the South Hill.
All right, they also shared with us that if a cougar were to camp out or was near people during daylight, they would have to take preventative actions to remove it from a highly populated area.
Still to come here on Wake Up NonStop Local. A woman just wanted a coffee, but she ended up getting locked inside a Starbucks bathroom.
All right, what happened and the lengths emergency crews had to go to get her out? We'll have that coming up.
Plus, first look at your weather forecast. Beautiful sunrise as you head out the door, but some areas are waking up to a little bit of fog. The full breakdown of what you need to know on a Wednesday when we come back.